Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today, we are going to talk about a little bit of an update, and then we are going to hit the water and talk about one bait specifically, and that's this guy right here. But we'll get into that later. So, I've had a lot of bait changes over time. Uh, After some trading and uh, selling and buying and all that stuff, these are kind of what I have right now. I've got a DRT Tiny Clash. I've got a Versatile Baits VG2, if I remember correctly. This is the small guy. And then I've got my Rex and a Throwback Metro. And then these guys are a soft plastic swim bait made by a local guy I know. WM Bayou is the maker of these guys. Um, these are some really fun soft plastics to throw. These are I have some of his older stuff. I haven't gotten any of his newer ones, but he makes some really fun swim baits that you can hook up however you want. Um, so, yeah, like I said, we are going to focus on the Metro. I've done a video on the Rex before. Uh, the This versatile here, I will be showing more of, but just to give you a little FYI, it kind of fishes somewhat similar to the Rex. It's a little different on how it's retrieved. Every bait's different, but it's relatively similar. They're about the same size. They just have different shapes. So they fish a little bit differently, but they're fun baits. The TK here, the Tiny Clash here, it's fun to throw, but I am still learning how to utilize it. This thing has 1,016 different ways to fish it, and I don't have the straight tail. I only have this sideways tail. So once I have the straight tail, I can actually go a little bit more in depth on how to fish this a bit better. But I'm still working on learning my retrieves and whatnot with this bait. So that stuff will come in the future. Um, and these guys are just really fun. Now, over here, in terms of the reels that I've got set up, I just brought these out, or this one out, just to show you. So, with a soft plastic bait like this, you don't want a fast reel. This is just a little tip that I've learned. You don't want a fast reel. This is the reel that I plan to use for all of my larger soft plastic baits. I cannot remember what the exact gear ratio it is, but I think it's 5.1 to 1, if I'm not mistaken, or 5.2 to 1. Those are the reels you're going to want to use for large swim baits like this. Is You're going to want a slower reel so that you don't burn them in and ruin the action a little bit. So, just a little tip that I've learned over time. But today, what we are throwing the Metro on is, and I'm sure you've already known, I've got a 150 high gear Corrado DC here. It's a 7.4 to 1, so it's a pretty fast retrieve. But with swim baits like this, you generally want a faster retrieve. You don't want to go too fast. You don't want to go into the eights, but probably like 7.4 is like the highest you want to go. From my understanding, from what I've learned, that's the highest you want to go. Anyways, the Metro from Throwback Baits. This is a very fun bait to throw. As you can see, it has been used and abused. Um, I actually bought this out of the consignment case at the Tackle Shack in Cyprus. I used to live pretty close to it, and I got this out of there a long, long time ago. It might have even shown up in an old video of mine, but this is such a fun bait. Super choppy. As you can see, it's got quite an angle to the dangle right there. Very free. This is a fun choppy bait, but you can also get it to glide pretty easily if you slow yourself down. So today we are going to be throwing the Metro on this uh, reel, and I'll show you all the rod real quick. It is the Simple Faith from Leviathan Rods. It's a 7 foot 11, moderate fast, parabolic, medium heavy, 1 to 4 ounce rod. I also wanted to really quick show off my rod storage here. Since I live in an RV now, um, I had to find a place for the rods. So we mounted them on the ceiling. I got space for 5 rods. We finally have made it out. Today we are at Tom Bass Park out in Pearland. This is gonna be the like fourth time I've come here since I've moved to the area. Like I said earlier, we're pulling out the Metro today, so that's gonna be fun. I kind of just got here and found a nice little spot that's kind of out of the way, so I'm not bothering anybody with my filming. Um, this is actually going to be the first time I've ever filmed out in public, so we're going to see how this goes. Good rule of thumb is if you can just kind of barely pull it out by hand, that's plenty of drag. That's just what I understand. So today I'm throwing on a 15-pound fluorocarbon. I believe it's the Cigar. Um, By the way, shout out to Swim Baits All Day for the merch. In terms of the t-shirt, that man makes some absolutely incredible streetwear for fishermen. So one technique that I want to touch on that I actually didn't really have any experience with uh, since we had last spoke with is called dead walking. Now, dead walking is, and I'm not sure if you can see it just yet with my rod, but it's using the tip of your rod to actually swim your bait. Let me see if I can try and get y'all in a little bit closer. One thing you can do is keep your hands tension on the reel, okay? Keep the tension on the reel and then just keep reeling in as you're coming back up, if that makes sense. So as you're coming down, pulling the bait towards yourself, right? You're holding that tension in that reel, but you're not constantly reeling. You're pausing that reel whenever you feel that tension from working the bait, and then whenever you feel the release of tension, you just kind of follow it until you pull again, and then you pause. So it's a little bit of kind of touch and feel, you kind of got to get a feel for it. But I find that when you do that, you get a little bit more of an erratic movement out of the bait. It's almost like a constant reel, but it's not. You're just keeping that tension on the line so that it just moves a little different. Now, if you slack the line and retrieve the line in after you twitch it on the dead walk, it kind of tightens up the group, I feel like. It kinda gets the bait to get a little tighter in on itself. And depending on how hard or soft you do this, how short, how long of a movement you make with the rod tip, all of that changes the way that the bait moves in the water. So what you're gonna wanna do, and this is a practice that has helped me greatly with my swim baits and my glide baits, is whenever I get it, what you do is you take that bait, you take it out onto the water, and you just use that bait. You just work with that bait. And if you do that with all of your baits, then you don't you don't sit there on the water like, "Oh man, this bait's not working. Let me tie on a different one." You know? Like, you just gotta kinda learn the bait, you know? If you stick with it and you learn how it moves, how it works, and different ways of retrieving it, you're gonna be able to catch more fish. I'm not the word of God. I'm just here to share information that I know of and hope that it helps you guys along in your journey. Now, one trick I wanna kinda teach y'all about. So, if you notice that you have a fish following you can pull your rod a little harder than normal, and your bait will actually turn, and the head will actually face the other way. And so what you can do with that is if you've got a follower, you flip it around real quick, and then you chop really quickly, or you dead walk it really quickly away from that fish, right? Now you can also do that with the reel because all you're basically doing is just moving the bait faster than you typically do on that retrieve. So instead of gliding just to here, it comes all the way around and it presents the head towards the fish that's following, right? It's just small stuff like that, you know, you want to incorporate into your retrieves. You want to vary it up. You don't want to just sit here and do the exact same thing everywhere. Right now, all we're doing is we're just fan casting out and we're just searching for fish. Anyways, I'm gonna stop yapping at this spot and get moving. I think we've kind of covered all of the water in this fan here. All right, y'all, we're on the other side of the pond now. Um, Decided to come over here to this kind of like pocket because I feel like this might be one of the spots that we are gonna catch a good fish. Of course, I get a little backlash, but we're not gonna talk about that. We're just gonna pull it out real quick while our super duper uber slow sync metro just kind of sits there. So we're just gonna fan cast this area as well and just kind of see if anything comes out of it. Alrighty. So after finding less of a plateau in the bank here, uh, we're back in business. As you can see, I am not ripping on this rod. I don't know if you can tell, but I am not using all my freaking might to send these swim baits out. You do not want to throw these swim baits as hard as you can on these casts. The reason being is if you really fucking send it like that, there's a very, very good, high likely chance that you will snap off on your cast. Your knot will fail and you are cooked, buddy. No matter what knot you tie, you're cooked. So what you want to do is pendulum. You want the bait to do the work of getting it out there because the baits weigh at the very least an ounce. Like this guy, it weighs 2 ounces. So with this guy weighing as much as it doesn't need your help to send it out there. The rod helps get it out there on its own because of the length of it, as well as how it loads up. Another important tip I learned is if you do happen to catch a fish, don't just unhook him and send that bait back out. You want to you want to retie. You're no matter how the knot looks, no matter how the line looks, just cut that knot off. If you tighten the line too much, it's going to start cutting into itself. And if it's cutting into itself, you're losing the that pound test strength. So what you want to ensure is you retie. I just really quick wanted to show y'all this because I thought it was very entertaining. This fucking tree right here cost somebody their little lure, and you know that they got mad because they got it caught in this thing. Also, there's a yellow jacket nest in it. So I'm gonna vacate this premises and we're gonna get back over to fishing. We are in either our final or second to final spot because I can't decide if I want to go to one other place or not on this pond, but we're deciding. We're just gonna kind of cast out into here and see if any fish are willing to indulge me. So I'm just meandering through the water with this Metro. There's a fallen tree over there. I'm gonna try and do something with it. We're just gonna lightly dead walk it. Hopefully y'all got some good info on how to fish these baits. Let me know what your thoughts are. If there's anything you want me to really hone in on talking with about this bait, just let me know and I'll get it out to y'all. Thank you. Have a good one.